Welcome back, folks, to Old Habits Die Hard and soon to Act 2. Anyways, I digress. So Mystic Cave Zone, Act 2. We're going to go ahead and stick to the upper paths and to avoid the pitfall that tells what you're doing. That's at the bottom, just to avoid it. Now, when you go on the upper path, you're going to be going through a lot of these drawbridge sections where you got to grab those handles to drop them, and then also to get back to the lower path to get to Dr. Robotnik, you have to hit these switches that will, drop drawbridges and drop Sonic lower. And then one thing I want to mention that I'm pretty sure some people by now have already noticed, the points that I have, the score I have, and the coins that I have are going to be a lot different than what you'll see at the I don't know, the about 2 minutes and 15-second mark ish. Because this is actually footage from me recording to get the normal ending. So this is footage that you see here from after the fact. So if you notice that, that's why. But sticking to the upper paths, you'll be able to get these rings. You'll have to get through more of these drawbridges. You're trading a little bit of a sort of easier time for spikes and enemies and all that. But with that, we're already at the end here, basically. Once we get to this drawbridge, we hit this shield, we go down here and hit this checkpoint, we're already at the boss. And as you saw there, there's some, there's a a ring of stars there to go into the special zone. So again, this is after the fact. Now Eggman will, dang, I said Eggman. Robotnik will start the match by dropping stalactites off, and then you don't want to do what I'm doing unless you just want to just cheese the fight and go through it. I didn't think I was actually going to be showing this footage right here. So I just went ahead and just, start hitting Eggman from the get-go. You don't want to hit the drills because the drills will hurt, obviously. So you want to wait till he's on the ground with the drills are pointing down and then jump on top of his head. If you're very lucky, you can hit him at an angle while his drills are pointing upwards to get some hits. But with that, we're done with Act 2, Mystic Cave Zone. Pretty sloppy boss fight, I gotta say. I apologize for that. But now we're going to get to my second least favorite zone, Oil Ocean Zone. And some people are probably thinking, well, Phil, why do you hate Oil Ocean Zone as your second least favorite level? Well, that's because Metropolis Zone is a zone in Sonic, and I'm just not a fan of Metropolis Zone. But anyways, let's talk about Oil Ocean Zone because that's what we're here playing at the moment. So Oil Ocean Zone, if you watch my Sonic Mania playthrough, it's pretty much the same, except Oil Ocean Zone in Sonic Mania, I believe, was oh, there goes my mouse. Is Acts 1 and 2 of Sonic 2. So we're basically going to see half of Sonic Mania's Oil Ocean Zone Act 1 in this right here. So the main thing that's going to be really hurting you a lot is going to be the spikes, as Tails just demonstrated off screen. These seahorses are going to be the ones that do the most damage to me because you don't want to jump straight into them. Like you see them, oh hey, let me jump and hit them from the front. Don't do that. They're probably going to shoot you with a energy pellet, and then you're going to take damage. So that is one of the things that do the most damage to me. And then spikes, because Tails just wants to keep showing himself a hit. The other enemy that I can think of off the top of my head that isn't here are these octopuses that will basically just sit around. They'll jump up in the air and then they'll shoot an energy pellet. So those are the other enemy type that I can think of off the top of my head that are in Oil Ocean Zone. And also that's the boss from Sonic Mania now that I'm remembering. But anyways, I digress. There is no fire shield to set the stuff on fire. So you just gotta run on the oil slick. But as I said right there, I don't know how you're supposed to avoid that seahorse, but just take the hit. Hopefully you got a shield or you got invincibility like I do. And then this is also another gimmick of Oil Ocean, are these little air shooters, or these shooters that will launch you all the way through the level. They're a little bit slow to travel, but I mean they'll get you through a good portion of the level. I don't know if you can actually get hit with the bullets while you're doing this, but that would be an interesting thing to find out, but not for myself. These fans, they will push you back, but if you keep running towards them, you will outrun them, so there is that. The green fire that's outside those green platforms, they will burn you, so make sure you avoid touching the green flame if you don't make it to that platform in time. And I gotta say, they still make a very entertaining sound, that boop, boop. But yeah, anyways, we got 3 extra coins there, which means we would have gotten to continue if we were playing original Sonic 2, but let's go and continue on Oil Ocean Zone, Jesus. And like I said, spikes. If you fall into the oil, you do, it's very, I guess thick is the word, because you won't sink to the bottom right away, and you can jump to the top. It's not like regular water. So make sure that you jump, that way you don't sink to the bottom and die and drown and all that good stuff. Otherwise, it will treat it as a bottomless pit. And then you got these spike platforms, or spike things here that will try to hit you. Like I said, don't jump in the front of those seahorses. They will shoot you with an energy pellet, or I guess oil pellet, and do damage to you. And that's not good, because damage is very bad. If you time that jump really well, you can get into that platform, or that air shooter, or sonic shooter balls, and they will launch you a little bit in a different area of the zone. So we're going to go this way. Go left, because you can't really go right because of the slick oil. So we're just going to follow the zone. So just follow the zone, follow the pathway through the zone, you'll be alright. And there's multiple pathways in Oil Ocean Zone, but this is the pathway I'm going to choose, mainly because this is the pathway I just landed on. Oil Ocean Zone is one of those levels I'm not very exploratory with, because I just don't like it. I'm just not a big fan of the gimmick, but it's basically, I like to think of it as Scrap Brain Zone Act 2 because of the background. But hit that invincibility that's hidden there, and you'll have a little bit of an easier time with the boss here. Very reminiscent of the Sonic Mania fight. Just keep hitting them. If you have the invincibility, you can just literally sit there and just let him get hit. When Dr. Robotnik goes underneath the ocean, he will shoot his little spike tail, and then he'll have this little laser that will shoot 3 shots. Generally 2 will go above you, 1 will go along the ground and make a shockwave. And then if you went ahead and took advantage of the invincibility that you got before the fight, you can go ahead and finish him off really quickly. And how that explosion did not set off all this oil, I'll never know. But I imagine it would look like some big thermonuclear explosion. But anyways, we're done with Act 2. And with that, we will get to my least favorite zone of Sonic 2. Fucking Metropolis Zone. And I don't care, I'm going to cuss a lot in this part, because I freaking hate Metropolis Zone. I'll try to keep it to a minimum, but I imagine a lot of it's going to spill over into this part. But the things that there's a lot of things I hate about Metropolis Zone. One is that little shit right there. I think they're called Astrons. Another thing here are the shell crackers, because fuck these crabs. But none of them really compare to the annoyance that is the freaking slicer. Because slicers are put in the most inconvenient places, with these little shits right here. They're placed in the most inconvenient places, like the shell crackers. The shell crackers are pretty annoying, but they can only hit you straight on. Slicers can throw their little sights, and then they can kind of follow you, which is kind of annoying. But they're just I just killed Tails there, I just noticed. They're placed in very inconvenient places. So the enemies are the biggest annoyance I have with it. Another one is the level layout. I just don't like the level layout of Metropolis Zone. In some ways, you feel like you're not making any progress, because you kind of feel like you're going in circles, especially in Act 2 and 3. Act 1 is actually kind of short, I think. I think it's like 2 minutes long. You probably get done in like maybe less than 2 minutes if you're very, very quick and very precise, so you don't get hit a shit ton like I do, because these enemies will make sure your freaking ring count will never stay above freaking 1, or you'll always you're not going to have a very large ring count unless you are being super slow, which if you're going super slow, you're not going to get a huge time bust. But then again, unless you're going for high score, you don't really care. But that's reason number 2. Reason number 3 is there's 3 of these freaking acts in this stupid zone. I hate it. I hate Metropolis Zone with a passion. Like, people complain about Labyrinth Zone. Nah, Labyrinth Zone ain't got shit on Metropolis Zone. Metropolis Zone can go eat it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. The only saving grace is the soundtrack. Metropolis Zone has a very good soundtrack. And little digression here. If you ever frequent Overclock remixes, OC remixes, I forget what it's called, but it's a remix with Metropolis Zone and Hydro City Zone. So check that out. Otherwise, that's the only saving grace of this zone is the music. Otherwise, it's a complete shit show. I hate it. And this is probably the only this crap right here. Look, this right here. If you're not prepared for it, you're gonna get hit, fall down the pit, and then I think that's a bottomless pit. No, it's not a bottomless pit. But it's just super annoying. I mean, I'm bitching about it a lot, but it's super annoying, folks. I can't. I'm probably singing to the choir because I can't think of anybody I know person that likes Metropolis Zone. But you gotta have the shitty zones to have good zones, right? But I'm so glad they didn't have this in Sonic Mania. But with that, we're done with Act 1. We'll go into Act 2, which it's not very much better. Not very much better. It's not better than Act 1 by any means. They got liquid hot magma. Or I guess, I don't think that's actually magma. I like to think this is like an ironworks place, so maybe liquid hot iron. But these freaking shell crackers. I don't know why I'm using an Arnold voice for that. But anyways, Quality Raw Demonstration, those freaking slicers are the most inconvenient spots. And once you get on those yellow bouncy things, it's kind of hard to control Sonic once he starts flying all over the place. So, go ahead and take the screw up. You can follow the rings to the right. You can go on this little secret pathway. You can make the screws go down. Or I guess these nuts, I guess. And really, I should have really turned Supersonic here. Maybe I did. I don't know. And because if I did, I wouldn't surprise me because this level sucks. I'm probably going to wait until I lose my shield and then turn to Supersonic, knowing myself. The screws, if you run left, the screws will go down. If you run right, the screws will go up. Because, you know, lefty loosey, down, righty tighty, up. That's how I remember how the screw stuff. Anyways, hot screw stuff. But I digress. I'm just trying to make myself funny because I freaking hate this zone. I hate this zone. I'd rather be funny than angry. Anyways, I digress. Or maybe I am funny when I'm angry. Who knows? But avoid the shell cracker. Go along these gears. Try not to get crushed by these gears. And these those things that the spikes protrude out of, they go in a clockwise motion. So if it's down, it'll go left, and if it's on the left, it'll go up, and then if it's up, go right. Another interesting thing about these nuts is I'm so glad I did that. The music is good, but I'd rather not get hit by slicers. Those screws, or nuts I should say, if you run with them with Tails, if Tails is running with you, the screw will go at double speed, so that's a nice thing to know. Especially in Act 3, because there's this one section, Act 3, I absolutely hate with a passion. Because you gotta take the screw all the way up to the top of the zone, and I can only imagine on a map how that actually looks, but it's a super tall pathway, and there's Astrons all over the place, and if they hit you, you're gonna fall all the way down to the ground level. And if the nut's all the way at the top, you gotta off-screen that section by quite a bit to make it respawn. But a saving grace here, I forgot because until I just ran it now, is that you can do the Sonic 3 team up with Tails if you have Sonic, or with Sonic and Tails. You can grab Tails and Tails will fly you up. So I guess that's a thing that's in, you know, Sonic Origins collection that you didn't have in Sonic 2, but you know that didn't help my PTSD with this level growing up. So just avoid these little pistons; they will crush you. And this is, I think, this is where I fall off one of the nuts right here, because if you fall off again and it's all the way up there, you got to off screen in order to get to it. So if I didn't know about that Sonic 2 thing right there, and I didn't do it, I know I do it later on Metropolis Zone, I just don't do it right there. It is a pain. Yeah, I just had to sacrifice Tails to get the nut to stay up there. But you got to go past the pistons. Once you go a little bit further, that's even dangerous. So what are you doing? The thing will respawn where it needs to go. So make sure that if you fall down, you go back a little bit longer than you think, and you'll get it respawn. And the good thing about, as far as the Origins collection is concerned, if the Astrons blow up, they don't respawn. I think in the original Sonic 2, I think they do respawn. I think. Keyword is I think. Right there, I didn't know I could do that till right there. I was like, oh, hey, this is nice. I didn't know this. This might come in handy for later, and it will come in handy later. Because I think I do think I do use it in definitely not Sky Fortress Zone because you only have Sonic in Sky Fortress Zone. I want to say well, it's either Sky Fortress Zone or it's either it cannot be Sky Fortress Zone. So I'll probably use it again here to get to a little bit of a higher part. But those yellow bumpers, when you hit them and you hold the jump button, you will jump at a higher rate and higher speed. So if you want to get to the higher sections, you make sure you hold your jump button. Very much like the gumball machine in Sonic 3, the extras, the special zone. I guess not the special zone, the extra zone where it's like you get extra rings and shields and all that. But anyways, keep going. I'm kind of running dangerously low on rings because I have no rings because this zone does a damn good job of making sure you don't have more than a single digit ring count at any one time. And if you have more than a single digit ring count, you're going to lose it pretty soon. So, I think this is the section. Tails, how are you doing that, buddy? Anyways, this is the section I'm talking about where the screw is going to go all the way up to the top. You want to be very careful you don't get hit by these Astrons. And if all possible, try to get Tails to run with you. Because if you do, as I'm about to show right here, you will go up at a double speed, and that's even better. If only you have a triple team, then you can go at triple speed. Oh, that's super dangerous. As I said, it's super dangerous. But those two Astrons are gone. I don't have to worry about them. So we're going to speed up because, you know, Sonic. Anyways, keep going up. Tails, I don't know how you're doing that, buddy. You know, that's a blessing in disguise. I'm glad that Slicer's arms got shot off early. Okay, with that, we're at the end of the zone. This will actually lead us to the boss. And the boss is kind of tricky to hit without getting hit. So what you want to do is when Eggman drops down, he'll have this little shield of balloons that are encircling him. If you can hit him at an angle when the balloons are not right where he's at, you'll hit him. The balloon will launch out and make a little Eggman balloon to hit it. And then he'll come back down so you can hit him. And that's what you really want to do. Otherwise, if you don't really care about your rings, just hit him like I guess I was. And, you know, take out the rings. Now, once you take out his last balloon, he'll make a last-ditch effort to do the reasonable thing and shoot you with lasers, which, I mean, you stand right underneath him, you can hit him, and then, you know, his lasers won't hit you. But with that, we're done. We're done with this stupid freaking zone, Metropolis Zone, Act 3. And we'll go on to a nice breath of fresh air, quite literally and figuratively. So I'll catch you next part, folks. Later and bye.